This is the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Kingwell and Krissy Vann. That's me. And we're taking you on a little off-roading.
And every single week, we're going to be joined by our dope friend, Richelle from True Grit Moto.
Woo! Hey, I floss.
And every week, we are going to ask each other stupid questions, and we're going to answer them. And why, you may ask? Because we can. All right, this is your Motovation.
Off-road edition.
What is the worst or weirdest thing a guest has done at your house?
Oh.
Whoa, loaded question.
Oh my God.
Opportunity in so many ways.
Let's hear it, Laurie.
Okay, mine. One, I was in college. A buddy stayed over at my house, was drunk, pissed in a blanket, didn't tell me, threw the blanket under my bed. And that was that. But later in the day, could notice a piss smell in my room, couldn't figure it out. Looked all around, couldn't figure it out. And then it was about the next day, and it got so bad. I was like, what is happening in my room? So I tore it apart, and deep under the bed in the corner was a blanket, which I thought just had fallen down. It never occurred to me that that was the culprit. Pull it out, lift it up. And absolutely, it doesn't take a detective. We're going to narrow that shit down. So that
sounds
one.
like your fault.
It is. It is. Moral of the story.
You knew.
Me. It's me. Yep.
Krissy, what's yours?
Well, initially I was also going to go with a pee story because somebody definitely peed on one of our mattresses staying over after a night out. And then afterwards, when he was staying again, because he lived from out of town, I took the liberty of getting one of those covers for the mattress that are really crinkly for bedwetters.
Oh my God.
Just so that he could have hilarious shame, because he did tell us about it and offered to buy a brand new mattress. And instead, deep cleaning was the route. But that aside, weird situation. We used to throw really huge house parties when we got our place. And one of them was just massive. It was awesome and amazing, but all the different groups of people, as well as alcohol, can kind of be a dangerous recipe. So somehow it became a bit of a game by our gas stove that they were trying to light each other on fire if they were leaning on it, which then turned into a miniature little brawl. And then eventually they had to go. So I would say the Evan assault and the bedwetting were probably the top two.
Richelle, what's your best guess?
Okay, so basically, so when I was younger, when I was I might have been 22, maybe 23. I used to have a couple last year. Just kidding. 10 years ago. Thanks. So sweet of you guys. So I have this friend, she will remain nameless, but she had this thing where she used to travel a lot, hitchhike. She could never stay in one place at the same time, could never keep a job. She was wild as all heck and real trouble, but super funny and just really raspy voice because she partied so hard. You know, that type of person, right? So one time she calls me and she says, hey, I just hitchhiked down from somewhere. And can I stay at your place tonight? And I was like, sure. And at the time I was living in Aldergrove. I was working at a concrete plant. And I said, sure, no problem. So she comes down, knocks on the door and comes in, and she's wearing, long johns, a winter jacket, a parka jacket, set of crazy shoes. I don't even know. And as I'm about to shut the door, another person shows up. So the person says to me, she goes, oh, I picked up another hitchhiker along the way. I hope you don't mind. And I was like, well, so I said, I guess I can't really say no now. It's midnight and I can't kick this person out. And it was another young girl, and she had big dreadlocks that went all the way down to her butt. She was pretty out there. And, I was like, I'm down for this. She seems pretty nice. So at the time I had this big, those big comfy circle couches that are from IKEA or whatever, right? The Poussage.
Yeah, I had one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Poussage, what the hell?
So
I do know what you're talking about. And
so we went from Swedish to French. The Poussage.
I don't even know. So So I'm like, okay, I got to work in the morning. You guys, make yourself comfortable. And she's like, we're leaving first thing in the morning. We're hitchhiking out to the next town. And I was like, well, what? Okay, that's cool. She's like, can you give me a pair of other, pants? These ones are burnt up and I need a new pair of shoes. And she was like a good buddy of mine. And I was like, okay, yeah, like I'll give you some stuff. And I put a nice little bed out there on the couch and then a nice little bed on the ground. And so I get up in the morning and surrounding the poussage is this lady's dreadlocks. And she decided throughout the evening to sleep or lay in this poussage of mine and completely pick out her entire head of dreads. Oh. And because it smelled so bad, my dog threw up in it. So I woke up at 7:30 in the morning. My dog is sick. These people have left. And there is a surrounding circle of this stench of what could have been like a cigarette having a shit at the same time. And I couldn't even believe it. I could not believe it. Like it was piles. Like her dreads were from the tippity top of her head below her knees. And she from 12 at night till 7 in the morning picked them out and left them in the house. And my dog puked in it.
I bet you wish that she simply had just peed on your poussage.
I'll take a pee story. I'll take a pee story any day. Any day. I couldn't.
It's unbelievable.
I had to get my roommate to clean it up. He had a thing for me, so he was down for it. But I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, that's a good time to have worker bees for sure.
Brutal.
Calling in a favor.
Yeah.
Wow.
Call in the troops. Yeah, that was a bad one. And you know what? I've never had a bad guest since, other than one lady that stole my face cream, but she was fine.
She needed it.
She needed it.
Amazing. Well, that didn't disappoint at all. So well done you. It's hard to move on from there, truly. But we're going to pick another question. Oh, okay. What is the funniest joke you know by heart? Or what's like a funny joke you know?
What do you call a deer with no eyes? No eye deer.
It took me a minute.
It was good. Okay. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Control freak.
Control freak.
The answer is control freak. Get it? Because the control freak tells you the answer. Doesn't let you answer.
You owe me $5. Oh, I don't know any jokes because I have such a bad memory.
Hey, I had to look one up.
Literally.
I didn't know either.
Now you got the deer one. It's short, sweet, and to the point.
I love it.
There's people that have jokes, like jokes and jokes and jokes and jokes in their back pocket. And I'm always like, how did you come to gather all of these? Like, who's telling jokes like this?
All the time.
All the time. Maybe it's a generational, because like our friends aren't like, hey, have you heard the one about that's not something we hear anymore. We just say stupid, funny shit, but we're not like, oh, that reminds me.
You just went off-roading with the Motovation Podcast, hosted by Laurie Joy Kingwell and myself, Krissy Vann.
And of course, a special thank you to Richelle from True Get Moto.
Whoop, boss it.
Never miss an episode by hitting like or subscribe. Connect with us on Instagram at Motovation Podcast and visit our website at themotovation.com. And in the meantime, full tanks, full throttle.
I think this is good though. It's like healthy, like people will be like, oh my God, I don't floss.
Well, it's going to be so hard not to laugh to get through this intro.